Welcome to Audit Spotlight, where we take a closer look at oversight in action, one report at a time. But today, we're doing something a little different. In this episode, we turn the spotlight on the Office of Inspector General itself. What is it? Why does it matter? How many are there? And can private businesses have one of their own? Stick around as we explore the watchdogs behind the watchdog reports. To understand what the Office of Inspector General is, we have to go back to 1978. That year, in the wake of growing concerns over government waste and mismanagement, the U.S. Congress passed the Inspector General Act. The legislation was championed by Senator Abraham Ribicoff, a leading advocate for transparency and good governance. It was signed into law by President Jimmy Carter on October 12, 1978. The purpose? To establish independent, nonpartisan offices within federal agencies that would serve as watchdogs, focused on preventing fraud, waste, and abuse. These offices are headed by inspectors general, or OIGs. Their job is to conduct audits, investigations, and evaluations within their respective agencies, and to report their findings not only to agency leadership, but to Congress and the public as well. The concept wasn't entirely new. The military had used inspectors general for decades. But with the IG Act of 1978, the idea was expanded and formalized into a network of civilian oversight offices, each embedded in a specific department or agency. Today, the Inspector General framework is a cornerstone of federal accountability. It ensures that the people who spend public money and those who manage critical programs are held to a measurable standard. So, what does an OIG actually do? The short answer, a lot. Each OIG is responsible for conducting audits. These are in-depth reviews of agency operations, contracts, or spending to assess efficiency, compliance, and risk. Investigations. These focus on allegations of fraud, misconduct, or criminal activity. Think whistleblower complaints, ethics violations, and procurement fraud. Inspections and evaluations. Broader and often quicker than audits, these assessments look at performance and recommend improvements. One of the most critical functions of an OIG is its ability to operate independently. While each IG is appointed by the president or the agency head, their removal requires notification to Congress, ensuring some measure of protection from political pressure. Most OIGs publish semi-annual reports summarizing their work, as well as individual reports like the ones we feature on Audit Spotlight. Each one a snapshot of oversight in action. You might be surprised to learn just how many offices of Inspector General exist. There are currently 74 statutory federal OIGs. They're found not only in major cabinet-level departments like Defense, Health and Human Services, and Homeland Security, but also in more niche agencies like NASA, the Peace Corps, and even Amtrak. Yes, Amtrak has its own OIG. So does the Library of Congress, the National Endowment for the Arts, and the Government Publishing Office. Anywhere public money goes, oversight tends to follow. These federal OIGs are coordinated by the Council of the Inspectors General on Integrity and Efficiency, or CIGE. Formed in 2008, CIGE helps promote professional standards, shares best practices, and improves coordination among IG offices. In addition to the federal level, state and local governments often have their own OIGs. For example, Illinois, New York City, and Miami-Dade County all operate independent Inspector General offices with mandates similar to their federal counterparts. While it might sound bureaucratic, the work of OIGs has a real-world impact. Consider some examples we've already featured on this channel. Episode 1 covered a report that identified over $4 billion in questionable Medicaid payments due to insufficient oversight at the state level. Episode 2 highlighted the HHS OIG's findings on major fraud cases investigated by Medicaid fraud control units, including a $100 million healthcare scheme. Episode 6 investigated problems in the Consumer Product Safety Commission's waiver determination process, highlighting a lack of oversight and documentation that impacted fairness and trust. These aren't just reports, they're catalysts for change. And while the OIG can't enforce laws or prosecute crimes, that's up to law enforcement and the Department of Justice. Their findings often serve as the basis for those actions. In fact, OIG investigations have led to high-profile resignations, the recovery of billions in misused funds, and significant reforms across government programs. Here's where things get interesting. Can a private company have an Office of Inspector General? Technically, no. OIGs are a creation of federal law. They exist within government agencies or quasi-governmental entities like Amtrak, which receive substantial federal funding. But private businesses can, and often do, have something similar. We're talking about internal audit departments, compliance offices, ethics hotlines, and risk management teams. These units operate with similar goals to ensure ethical behavior, reduce fraud, and improve efficiency. However, they differ in a key area: independence. Unlike OIGs, corporate audit and compliance functions typically report to executive leadership or the board. That can sometimes create conflicts of interest, especially when wrongdoing might implicate leadership itself. That's why some experts advocate for stronger protections and independent reporting lines in the private sector, mirroring the OIG model. Some global corporations voluntarily adopt IG-style roles or bring in third-party auditors to review internal processes. And in certain industries, like healthcare and defense contracting, companies may be required to implement compliance measures that mimic OIG practices as a condition of doing business with the government. So while you won't find a true OIG in a private firm, the principles are definitely spreading. In a time when public trust in institutions is increasingly fragile, the Office of Inspector General plays a vital role. They are the ones asking hard questions, following the money, and calling out inefficiencies or misconduct, no matter where it leads. They provide transparency without spin and accountability without partisanship. Their work is often complex, sometimes controversial, and occasionally ignored. But in every case, their reports leave a paper trail, and that trail leads to truth. Whether you're a taxpayer, a government worker, or just someone who wants to understand how your money is being spent, the OIG matters. Thanks for joining us on this special episode of Audit Spotlight. If you've been with us since the beginning, you've seen how these reports shine a light on systems that usually operate in the dark. And now, you know more about the people holding the flashlight. We'll be back soon with another real OIG report, broken down and presented with nothing but the facts. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and as always, keep your eye on the audit.